JJ asks, "Hi Dana, you mentioned discovering that many of your friends were narcissistic. Can you talk about that a little? What kind of red flags did you see in your friends? Thanks." Sure, hold on just a second. Let me get a sip. Well, I would say the most problematic friend I had was in middle school and high school. And it runs the same pattern. So it was that, a lot of attention right away. She was so friendly and nice, and like we were just instant friends. And I had just moved to town. We had just moved to that state, and I didn't know anybody. We moved there like maybe a week before school started, and it was just, again, like this whirlwind kind of thing, right? So she sat down and had lunch with me, and she was just really chatty and really just took this, huge interest in me. And here I was, like, of course, this is all hindsight being what it is, right? So my parents were recently divorced. I knew nobody. I was incredibly lonely. I was incredibly vulnerable. I was in a strange state at a strange school, didn't know anybody. And it was like any other narcissistically abusive relationship. The good times were really good. We had so much fun together, and we spent all of our time together. I mean, all of our time together. When we were older, we ended up living. Actually, her sister was my very first roommate. I was 18, and then I moved in with my friend when I was like 21, maybe. So, but she was just, I mean, God, I used to even describe that relationship to people. I would say I felt like I was in an abusive relationship. And I would laugh it off because in my mind, I was thinking, but we're not dating, right? Like, and she's not hitting me. And so it's not an abusive relationship. But now, knowing what I know now, oh, yes, it was. She was incredibly controlling, incredibly possessive, crazy, crazy. She would do things like, I don't even know where to start. She did not get her driver's license until I think she was like 18. And so we all had to chauffeur her around. And she did not like to chip in for gas money. It was always her way. She always had to sit shotgun. If she didn't, she would throw a freaking fit, and everybody knew it. One time, her sister had a party, and the guy that she liked was at the party, and he was hitting on her sister, and she didn't like that. And so she went into the bathroom and took a whole bottle of baby aspirin for attention, right? And then comes out and announces that, and then ends up going to the ER and drinking charcoal. And it was ongoing stuff like that. Like, you just knew everything was all about her all of the time. And if anybody crossed her, if she did not get her way, there was hell to pay. I mean, silent treatment, just, like, just vindictive, bitter, crazy behavior. When we lived together, when we were in our early 20s, she would do things. She just was very controlling. She was very controlling and very possessive. I remember this one night. So, okay, like, our house was here, right? Okay, let me see if you can see this in my phone. Okay, and the house was here. My work was here, and then the library was over here. So it was like doon, doon, doon. I had left work, went to the library, circled around, and came home. So I pulled into the driveway coming in from a different direction. And she'd asked me she was sitting on the couch in the dark smoking. Like, crazy, like single white female kind of crazy stuff. And had asked me where I had been. And I had said, oh, I just got home from work. Like, which was the truth, because I dropped some books off at the library, but like, it wasn't, like that. I didn't think that was significant. And she got really irritated and was like, no, you didn't, because you pulled in from a different angle. Stuff like that. And it was just always having to answer to her, always, it was never okay. Not that I would ever do this anyhow, but it was never okay for me to like a guy that she liked, or especially date a guy that she liked, but it was okay for her to do that. She would go after guys I had dated, or things like that. She was just very unpredictable. She was just spoiled, flipping rotten. Rotten. I have never, and my mom even made a comment one time. She said, and she was right. She's like, those girls are just, they're rotten. Like they're just rotten children. And they really were. The way that they talked to their parents, they got away with everything. And a lot of it with her, especially, she was really, really spoiled. Her sister was, her sister was a brat too, but nothing like my friend. My friend was, knowing what I know now, like hands down personality disorder kind of stuff going on. Like not even like not in my mind, not even debatable. Like it was just so extreme and so attention seeking and so controlling and exhausting. And after that friendship ended, I ended that, and I had a really hard time ending it because it was like an abusive relationship. Again, like the good times were really good. We were really like inseparable for like 6 years. When I finally ended things, I was just devastated. And she picked up and moved out and got a new best friend within like a week, and I never heard from her again. Like, and it was like I never existed. It was like our friendship never mattered. And I felt like I was going through a divorce because basically all of our friends had to pick sides, and a lot of them, most of them ended up going to her side because they knew if they didn't, that there would be hell to pay. And so I lost a lot of friends in that whole mix as well. It was really, really rough for like a couple years after that. It was really rough because I lost a big chunk of my support system. And yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. Before her, I met her when I was 15. It was right around that time. No, it was about a year after that. I began dating a guy who was a total psycho. Actually, that was his nickname, was Psycho. Like, don't ever date people or befriend people with the nickname Psycho. Like, that's just a good rule of thumb. And it was, again, the same, just the same, the exact same kind of stuff. That was really scary things. I've had a lot of problematic people in my life. It I didn't connect the dots and see the pattern until like this year. I just thought it was a fluke thing. I minimized it. I didn't realize I didn't see the commonalities between them. And I think a lot of it had to do with, I dated this crazy guy when I was in high school. I thought that was a total fluke. I didn't date anybody even close. I've never dated anybody close to him ever since, even though the other two guys I was tangled up with were crazy in their own right and problematic in their own right. They were nothing like this other guy. And so it's just now I totally see it, but I didn't see it before.
Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.